sweet home for Charlton, maybe with Kelly in the audience. Home sweet homes. She's come here to take the acclaim for her 2 gold medals. For Charlton, it's 2 wins out of 2 here, having beaten Portsmouth and Villa. Though they have proved the archetypal Jekyll and Hyde team, their form has been very different on the road. Southampton come here hopeful of getting their first victory under Steve Wigley. It's his 5th game in caretaker charge, if you include his first spell. But will it bring his first victory? It was only last May when the teams last met, Charlton winning on that occasion. Now Charlton are on to their 3rd captain of the season. Goalkeeper Dean Kiley hoping to avoid the ill fortune that's affected Matt Holland. And now Mark Fish, who's gone down with viral conjunctivitis. Chris Perry, whose last Premiership start was in the win over Southampton back in May, replaces Fish in the only change made by Alan Kirbishley in 3 matches.
Well, Alan Kirbishley does feel that his side has been a little too lightweight on their travels. I mean, that hasn't been the case so much at home, but they have missed Scott Parker in the centre of that park. There's no doubt about that. Danny Murphy on the right has played on the left as well for his new club. I think he's just feeling his way at the moment, getting to know this Charlton team, the way that it plays, and I think we'll see him pop up quite a bit in the middle. On the other side, Demis Ramadal is the interesting one. He gives them something they haven't had in quite a while: genuine width and real searing pace. Just trying to achieve that little bit of consistency now is the next step. Up front, Fanny Jeffers grabbed those 2 really well, taking goals against Aston Villa here. Always important as a striker that you follow that up. He'll be hoping to do that tonight.
Steve Wigley has been keen to let everyone know he is the boss, and tonight he makes the first changes since Paul Sturrock's last game in charge, the win against Blackburn. Out go defenders Paul Telfer and Danny Higginbottom. In come Darren Kenton, who celebrates his 26th birthday today, and number 6 Andreas Jakobsen, a recent buy from Bromby.
Well, Steve Wigley hasn't changed the shape too much. He hasn't changed the personnel. What he has tried to do is add a bit of organisation and discipline to the play. They've worked really hard during this 2-week break to do that. One thing he'd love to do, I think, is get more goals from that midfield area. Last season's top scorer in that department was Leandre Griffith. He got 2, and he only played 5 games, so that's an obvious area where he can find improvement. You'd certainly expect to get a few goals from those 2 up front. Kevin Phillips, if they can get the right service tonight, if Fabrice Fernandes can supply from that right-hand side, I think that'll be a real handful.
Well, speculation continues that Rupert Lowe would like to make Sir Clive Woodward the biggest transfer between football and rugby since William Webb Ellis. But for the moment, the man in charge, the ongoing head coach, in his chairman's words, is Steve Wigley, who is going to make his own appointment as an assistant manager. He says that if anyone is coming into the club, it won't be above him.
George Smith, who's 9 tomorrow, so happy birthday to George for tomorrow. Paul Byrne, who's 14.
And no one in their right mind will be getting shirty with Neil Barry today. He was the 4th official for that controversial game at the weekend when Tim Cahill was sent off with a 2nd yellow card for lifting his shirt in a goal celebration. Were you ever booked for taking your shirt off?
Didn't used to do it in those days, did they? And it is a crazy situation, and I think it's one that is going to be remedied fairly quickly. You have got to have common sense. You've got to let players express themselves as long as they aren't doing anything to incite the crowd.
Barclaycard Barclays Premiership England here in the Valley. Charlton Athletic versus Southampton.
Both sets of players gathering for a final motivational talk. Anthony Amy belatedly joining the Southampton huddle.
It's a real fashion, that, isn't it? Everybody seems to do the little pre-match huddle these days.
Well, Charlton are unbeaten in 6 Premiership matches here since Aston Villa won at the Valley back in March. Can they maintain that good, impressive recent run? very much a makeshift central midfield. Jason Ewell drawn back from a striking role in recent times, and Radostin Kishishev, who's alongside him in central midfield, as a player that we've been more used to seeing as a defender, as a right back. But Matt Holland's absence at the moment for Charlton a key factor. It's Jonathan Fortune just staying in control of the situation defensively. And the first subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers is Franny Jeffers, so press the red button on your Sky Digital remote to follow him.
Speaking about Dennis Romadal before, that they had some genuine pace and width. Franny Jeffers is something else that they haven't had, I think. You know, we've talked about the fox in the box as regards Jeffers when he was at Arsenal, but I was here when he scored that brace against Villa, and he gets into these areas. Just keeps defenders on their toes, on their shoulders, always lurking. And as I said, as a striker, we've got a great couple, but you want to add to that. And this is almost the start of his career, Franny Jeffers. Exploded onto the scene at Everton. His career died at Arsenal, effectively, and he'll be looking to this as the place he can make it happen.
Romadal's corner. Clearance by Kenton. As Kishishev. Lost out there to Delap. Phillips playing it back. That's Anders Svensson. Now the new man Jakobsen, and this is Graham Lasseau. Phillips. Jakobsen looking long for James Beattie. And now here's Svensson to Lasseau. Graham Lasseau's position, in theory, was to come under pressure with the signing of Joel van Dam from Ajax. Although for now, Lasseau has retained his place. Fortune was challenging with Beattie. Header away is by Chris Perry. That's Luke Young. Young winning the throw-in. That's Fortune. It's away by Haridason. Now Klaas Lundekvan. Svensson stood out of the way, and Beattie a little surprised by that. This is Phillips. Held up by Fortune, and it looks as though he might get away.
He did quite well there, Kevin Phillips. The ball came to him sharply, didn't expect it, and did well with his first touch, held it up, drew the free kick.
Well, Beattie and Svensson, the options here for Southampton.
He fancies it, doesn't it, James Beattie?
Well, he sized it up, and he looks like he thinks he can beat Kylie from here. Can't get it past the wall, though. Kishishev. Now Fernandez. A gift for Dean Kylie. Kylie is donating £50 to a local charity every time he keeps a clean sheet this season. He's actually put his team under pressure from the throw, which Romadal couldn't keep in. Here's Phillips. Now Fernandez. Haridason felt he'd actually played it against the Southampton man. The throw-in given against him. Delap has got a useful long throw in his armoury. And he's got some useful targets in there too. Lundekvan has joined Beattie in there. But Fortune gets in front of him. And it's cleared by Dennis Romadal. Clearance by Jakobsen.
Just want to do the early things right. On his debut for Southampton, settling in alongside Clayson Lundegvam. No doubt he'll be trying to help him through this 90 minutes. Lundegvam, very experienced defender, Southampton.
Here's Kishishev. Ryderson. Slipped through by Lisby for Franny Jeffers. Well, it was tight from the angle, and he did well to test Niemi in the fashion that he did.
Well, that's what you want to see from your strike pair, linking up. Kevin Lisby does really well. I don't know if he was just trying to lay that off first time, but he sees Franny Jeffers' run really tight angle, but he still tests Niemi. Sweet strike.
Here's Lasso. He got snagged up in Delap's feet. Lasso had to retrieve it. Now here's Fabrice Fernandez. Overreached for James Beattie. Good early test for Niemi that he was up to. Club's Player of the Year last year. Actually made his debut for the club in a goalless home draw against Charlton 2 years ago. History of this fixture recently doesn't favour the away team. Southampton were the last visitors to win it, and that was when Charlton were playing at Selhurst Park back in 1990. In fact, Southampton haven't won at the Valley since December 1977. So if Steve Wigley can put that right, he'll chalk up his first win as head coach. Radostin Kishishev looking for Franny Jeffers. It was an inviting ball that was played across towards Ryderson, who just hesitated.
I think it was a shot from Danny Murphy, didn't quite catch it. Nice ball in from Kishishev to pick out Jeffers. He does well.
James Beattie, who's registered a couple of goals already at the start of the season when it looked as though his future might be away from St Mary's. After the very public overtures from Aston Villa, he's still with Southampton until January at least. No doubt Beattie and Phillips' goals will be crucial to Southampton in what's already looking like it'll be a long struggle for survival in the Premiership on the evidence of early results. Here's Fernandez. Always going away from Kylie's goal.
Well, it was worth a strike, but I think what Southampton will want to do, what Steve Wigley mentioned beforehand, was getting the tempo up to what it was. You know, you think back to the Gordon Strachan days, and they were such a physically strong side and always kept going, making life difficult for their opponents. And maybe they lost a little bit of that over the last few months.
Fernandez. Delap. Lundegram's ball. Away by Fortune. Controlled by Kishishev. Lundegram stepped in. Here's Fernandez. Yule putting him under pressure and then taking him down. Amazing really how the wheels seemed to come off for Southampton the minute it was announced that Gordon Strachan was to leave at the end of last season. Previous year they'd reached the FA Cup final. And having been through the turbulent appointment and then dismissal or departure of Paul Sturrock, they really need to pick things up again quickly.
It takes a long time to build up to the level that they did attain, and very quickly to fall back down again. And you're right, it did all start with that announcement from Strachan. We've seen it happen before. Players know the manager's not going to be around, and in hindsight I'm sure Rupert Lowe would have changed the way that they handled that. They've got some ground to make up now.
Headed away by Perry.
I'm sure James Beattie will fancy his chances drifting on to Chris Perry tonight.
Van coming forward for the throw-in. He was the target last time Rory Delap launched one. And it's in Beattie's direction, and Phillips tries to hook his leg around.
I don't know if he actually won it, James Beattie, but he certainly made a nuisance of himself enough to let this ball run through, and that's really dangerous, isn't it? Kevin Phillips, another couple of yards forward, another poke at goal.
Defending from Perry, brave defending. And a corner for Southampton, which Graham Lasso will take. Oh, Phillips! Turned clear in the end by Romadal.
That was a beautifully delivered corner from Lasso, it really was. Whipped in under the crossbar, and Delap very nearly got a touch.
Here's Lundekvam. Delap. Clearance by Perry. Now Yule. Just holds on to it as Fernandez put pressure on. Now Jeffers slips it through to Romadal. He's away, Dennis Romadal. Can he pull it back? Oh, he went for it himself. He had 3 men over, and he was selfish.
I don't know quite what he went for there, because he didn't seem a shot, did he? It was a side foot towards the near post. The pace here takes him into the position to nudge the ball past Kenton, and once there, well, it's a nothing ball, isn't it? Fanny Jeffers in the middle, he's absolutely furious. Best position so far for Charlton. Game would be disappointed he didn't collect that.
Romadal hopes to make amends from the corner. Haridason challenging for it. And now Romadal gets another bite at the cherry. Goes too long for any of his colleagues on this occasion. Well, Jeffers had every reason to feel furious with Romadal for the previous one.
Well, he did. I mean, wingers can be infuriating for forwards because such pace and such threat takes them into a great position, and once there you're just praying for the final ball to deliver to the striker's feet. Jeffers didn't get it.
Well, they spent just under £9 million on 6 new players for this season, Charlton. Romadal and Jeffers, 2 of those investments. The quality of the final ball from Romadal so far has let him down. It'll take him some time to settle, the former PSV man.
Well, there's a world of difference, I think. Although he's an international, world of difference between the Premiership and Dutch football with PSV. More often than not, he would have been in the dominating side, I think, there.
He's won 3 titles in his 6 years with PSV.
Perhaps didn't have to do too much defending as well, protecting his fullback. Something that Alan Kirbishley mentioned beforehand there with Jeff. Won't come overnight.
Fortune's kick. Cleared by Prutton. And here's Phillips. This is Fernandez. Beattie was getting into the box, but Kiley saw the danger, came and claimed it well. Yule looking for Lisby. Now Svensson. This is Fernandez. Now Kenton. Beattie looking for the touch, but welling Chris Perry. Little touch from Romadal. Jeffers putting pressure on Lundekvam, and then Lasso. Clearance by Jonathan Fortune. It's Delap. Foul by Jason Ewell, although he evidently feels he did nothing wrong.
He's just caught his ankle, hasn't he? But I don't know, more often than not, that might be allowed to pass.
So's free kick, guided towards Fernandes, but glancing header away was from Ramadan. Delap's throw-ins can be as good as a corner.
Well, they take the time here, don't they? There's no rush. Make sure Lundgren has the time to get up front.
Held in towards Beattie. There's an appeal there. I wonder if he might have just overstepped the line. Here's Delap looking for Phillips. Here's Prutton. Van der Svensson with a cross. Fernandes looking to bring it under control. Ewell in hot pursuit. Back in from Prutton. Lundgren with a flick. An important defending from Hreidarsson. Lisby. Kishishev. Early overhits for Chris Perry.
It was a tricky ball into Dean Carley to start off with. Tested his control.
It was one of those for Carley where he couldn't afford to mess around with it.
Zipped in and he was under pressure. Beattie made the run, had to make a quick decision. Carley just overhit it.
Not renowned passers, are they, goalkeepers?
Well, I think they are.
Fortune. That's Lasso, and Beattie just came back onside then, and could be through here. Phillips. Well, he was offside.
Well, there was a slight lack of communication across that Charlton back line. Chris Perry just nodded towards Jonathan Fortune to say sorry. He just tries to step up, doesn't he? Lets Beattie get the run on him.
This is Ewell. Now Hreidarsson. This is Ramadan. Van der Svensson winning the throw, and this is Fernandes. Fortune's clearing header. This is Perry.
Well, you can perhaps see a little bit of rustiness to his play. Chris Perry, one or two decisions, one or two touches, that's understandable. It's been quite a sedate start for Charlton. They probably similar start against Aston Villa before they got the first goal, and then really had the confidence to go on from there. Perhaps Kirbyshley will want his team to force the issue a little bit more now, 20 minutes into the game. Put this Southampton defence under more sustained pressure.
The crowd showing plenty of desire for Charlton to build on what has been a tentative start. Away by Rory Delap.
The crowd's been fairly quiet, hasn't it? This Valley crowd. Not too much to cheer so far.
And Kirbyshley making more notes as he looks for that flash of inspiration that can guide his team into the lead here. Victory could put them into the top 7. It would have to be an emphatic one to get them into the top 6. They performed well above expectations last year, finishing 7th. They're best final position in the Premiership, their best league finish for over half a century. It's away by Perry, on by Lisby. Kishishev coming in. Beatty. Kenton. On one or two occasions, James Beatty has looked a forlorn figure when service hasn't gone his way, but he's now the subject of Player Cam. Sky Digital viewers, press the red button on your remote. Phillips coming in to put pressure on Fortune. Yule tidying up for Charlton. And Haridason escaping Fernandez. Kept in by Romadal. Played by Lundigvan.
Well, he's got the beating of Darren Kenton, hasn't he, Romadal? I think the fullback's a little bit jittery, backtracking with the kind of pace that the winger's got.
Haridason lost out then, stepping on the ball, and Prutton broke with it before Danny Murphy halted his progress. Murphy immediately acknowledged the foul as soon as it had been committed. Here's Kenton. Offside flag up against Kevin Phillips, who's had a good record in his career playing against Charlton. One of the 7 goals he scored against them, of course, was in that dramatic playoff final when he was with Sunderland. The game finished 4-4. Phillips and Sunderland lost on penalties, although he'd been substituted by that stage.
Do like to get the ball up quickly to the likes of Phillips and Beatty. Southampton into those channels, aimed at Beatty's head.
Phillips again, just letting Chris Perry know he's there. Perry looking for Haridason. And Yule just caught Delap.
Well, taking chances. Chris Perry again with a dangerous ball inside.
It's Lasso's cross, Beatty's header. Kept in by Fabrice Fernandez. Well, had it gone out, Yule coming in to sort it out. The referee looked at his assistant on this side and didn't get a flag.
Well, it was a period of pressure there. Charlton really had brought on themselves. They gave the ball away, and well, that's still in. That's still in. Maybe Charlton stopped momentarily.
It's Lasso with a kick. Back in again from Lasso. And heading right back across for Beatty. He was a yard from the line and he couldn't hook it in.
Oh, what a chance. What a chance. There was a last-ditch challenge in on Beatty as this comes in. Is that Jakobsen at the far post, just drifts away from everybody. Haridason's touch, so important, because Beatty's just behind him a little bit. Still a difficult chance. Warning signs for Charlton though, switched off. Jakobsen gaining that bit of space at the far post.
Jakobsen hardly ventured forward early on, but as the game goes on, the man making his debut at the heart of the Southampton defence, growing in confidence, venturing forward. They have some defending to do here. He's watching Jeffers as Romadal lines up the cross. Yule challenges. So got there with a header though.
Well, it's a better final ball as well, isn't it, from Romadal? Just gained a yard and helped it into the danger area. Yule loves arriving late into that penalty area.
Murphy with the corner. Beyond fortune. This is Phillips with Romadal at his back. Need to get rid of it. This is Young. Looks for Lisby. Lisby just got the touch. Hasn't scored here at the Valley since that hat-trick he got against Liverpool last September. Although, to be fair to him, injuries have restricted his appearances at home since then.
They've really had a partnership to speak of at the Valley, have they? Two strikers that you could say, yeah, that's the first choice. It's been mix and match for a couple of years.
Perry. Prutton. Away by Fortune. Long throw in this time. Fernandez has taken it short. Hampton's hooked it in and Fortune was holding off Beattie from getting there. Young. Murphy. Perry hadn't anticipated the pass. Fischer-Chef though did well. This is Haridason. Romadal. Haridason. Murphy. Now Young. You're trying to push it through. This is Phillips. Beattie's been set away by Phillips, but no one in the middle for him. Phillips has got there now, but this is Anders Svensson. It's Beattie's cross. And it's away by Romadal. Murphy. Romadal. Lisby. Jeffers. It's a hopeful stab really from Franny Jeffers.
Every time the ball goes down that left-hand side, Charlton's left-hand side, chances seem to be created. Darren Kenton really needs a little bit of help there. Instinctive poke of the foot from Jeffers, unlucky. Fernandez in front of Kenton, so he'll be a very attack-minded player, and not too often have we seen him funneling back and helping out his full-back.
Perry then got a piece of Fernandez as he cleared that, and Fernandez, when he got up, was holding his back. Here's Romadal. A disappointing cross would be an understatement from Haridason. And they're still feeling the effects of that Perry challenge.
Well, both players with the eye on the ball and studs follow through. Totally accidental from Chris Perry, but it would have hurt nonetheless.
James Beattie. Champions League returns to Sky this week. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 2, Celtic against Barcelona. And on Sky Sports Extra, Valencia against Anderlecht from 7 o'clock. And there will be the other 4 matches available to you as an interactive option, Sky Sports Extra. Make sure you're with us for that. Chef. Here's Luke Young. Play from Lisby. Murphy. Just couldn't take it on the run.
Well, they are getting into good positions, aren't they, Charlton? That's one of the few times they've gone down the right-hand side and had a bit of joy. It's good skill. Graham so outwitted. Once in these positions, though, final ball, move breaks down. A little bit more quality in that final third. Advance themselves to create a couple of chances. against the Southampton side that understandably not playing with the most amount of confidence I've ever seen them. Just trying to build something here after some poor results.
Here's Anders Svensson. From Fortune. Jakobsen. Now Fernandes. Jakobsen. Beattie. And again James Beattie. Looking for Darren Kenton. Ryderson hits it against him, but it's not going to go out, and Phillips is waiting in the middle. But he can't reach it. Romadal. Ryderson. Lundekvam. Phillips. This is Fernandes. Pressure just arrived too late to have any real impact on Dean Kiely, and Beattie can afford to have a smile about that late arrival.
Well, it's scrappy, isn't it? I think we can safely say that. First half hour, neither side has really dominated or passed the ball all that well.
Here's Fabrice Fernandes. Alasso. Change of subject now for player cam. Press the red button on your Sky Digital remote. You can track the movement now of Dennis Romadal.
There's a definite outlet for them, Romadal. Seen that once or twice. He's had the beating of his fullback. They want to try and isolate him out on that left-hand side, Charlton.
There's Yule. Kevin Lisby. Given away by Kishishev, played it straight against James Beattie. The lap helped it on to Svensson. And now here's Kevin Phillips. Kishishev. It's Murphy. Fernandes. This is Lasso. Radostin Kishishev. It's Kenton who came across. And now Fernandes. Challenged by Yule. Murphy brushed aside by David Prutton.
They're working very hard, Southampton, to try and stop these attacks at source.
Good work here from Romadal, got inside two. Put away though by Delap. Control from Anders Svensson. Ryderson. Released it. Back to him did Romadal.
Well, it's a little bit too easy down that left-hand side for Charles. Real cause of concern for Steve Wigley, I'm sure, on the bench. Darren Kenton is having to really sing for his supper tonight.
Romadal's kick, and it was met by Herman Hreiderson, who's a useful threat from corners and free kicks.
Well, if he gets a run at the ball, he's a real handful, well over 6 foot, and I think he's just taking his eye off the ball a little bit while he's grappling with Lundekvam.
First of his 2 goals last season came on Boxing Day in the victory against Chelsea. Kerbishley and Mervyn Day discussing what's the best way to find their way through here.
Well, there's been plenty of promise. Most of it, as I said, coming down the left through Ramadal.
Kishishev.
The more Southampton can keep this game, keep a clean sheet, the more confidence that they'll gain.
They'd scored long ago by this stage of their last game. James Beattie inside 12 seconds against Chelsea, although it didn't lead them to a victory.
A bit too early, that one, wasn't it?
Steve Wigley's team couldn't hold on to that lead. And in consequence, he's still searching for his first win. Danny Murphy. Now Romadar. Radostin Kishishev. Looking for Lisby.
Kevin Lisby needs a better ball in than that. Up against those 2 Southampton centre-halves, he's never going to win any aerial battles.
Fernandez. It's Romadal and Prutton. Now Klaus Lundekvar. Aim for Beattie. Cleared by Chris Perry. Beattie obviously getting some adverse reaction from the crowd then, and he stood his ground without reacting.
Stared the man.
Cross by Delap. May actually have been out of concern, I think, that he was looking, James Beattie, because the ball hit this young girl in the face. But thankfully, I don't think it'll require a trip to the dentist.
Something to show her friends tomorrow at school.
So looking for the Beattie option. That's Prutton, and Neil Barry inadvertently obstructed Fabrice Fernandez then. And a crucial impact on this break actually. Romadal has got away from Kenton. As he's kept it in, Fernandez, who was stopped by the referee at the heart of that move, comes back to save the situation.
Ball up front there. Saw Fernandez, mate. That's been a feature of Southampton's play. It's been pretty one-dimensional, more often than not aimed at Beattie.
Charlton aiming for Yule here. Murphy looks for Yule once again. And it's Jakobsen who manages to get it away. Tall forward then looking for the throw-in from Kishishev, but instead he aimed one for Yule, and it's easily cleared by Southampton. Now Prutton. This is James Beattie requiring support. Gets away from Perry, gets his shot away as well.
And that's probably the first time that James Beattie had a one-on-one of sorts. Chance to shift it and get a sight to goal and have a shot.
Lisby. Trying to play Fischer-Chef, but it falls short and Lasso breaks. Beattie. So trying to release him, and Lisby was there challenging. Jeffers. Fischer-Chef. Lundekvam slid across. This is Danny Murphy. Ryderson. Romadal. Jeffers. Murphy looking to play Dennis Romadal in.
They just can't get it right, Romadal. It's good play from Charlton now, much better. They passed it better in a tight area, kept the ball. Again, that final ball, letting them down. Just lacking that little bit of quality, Charlton. Haven't passed it as well as they have previously this season. He's seen plenty of the ball. He's worked hard as well, but just needs to pick out a pass, keep his composure at the end.
Beattie. Ryderson. Well won by Delap. This is Anders Svensson.
It's begging to be hit, that one, isn't it? He's sat up, bouncing in front of him. Nobody came to close down, and a few minutes before half-time, worth a crack. Saw James Beattie find the corner of the net at Chelsea, didn't we?
And he scored a pretty decent goal himself, Anders Svensson, this season against Blackburn. Most other days, I think it would have been the goal of the day, but it was the same day, I believe, that Patrick Berger scored his cracker.
Yeah, that was here, wasn't it, on this ground?
Svensson, now Fernandes. Delap. Delap pulls it across. And, Murphy had a problem. He was under pressure from Rory Delap.
Well, he might have just changed his mind what he was going to do with this ball. Turned around and his touch let him down.
We talk about close to half-time being a good time to score, and this presents an opportunity for Southampton. Svensson's corner, met though by Young. There's Beattie, off the hand.
A frustrating time, James Beattie. In the best 45 minutes of entertainment. But from Southampton's point of view, I think they'll be fairly satisfied to get into the dressing room with a clean sheet. Chance for Steve Wigley to just address his players and hopefully get a little bit more out of them on the front foot.
Well, there hasn't been a clean sheet so far for Southampton this season. That would be a start. They've conceded 2 in every game. Offside here against Francis Jeffers. On by Beattie. Phillips, again, suggestion that it might have been with the arm. Fernandes with the cross. Away by Fortune. Now Romadal. Yule. In comes Kenton. Now Prutton. Phillips. Delap. Helped out by Klaus Lindekoff.
Officials indicated a minimum of 1 minute additional.
1 extra minute in the first half. Murphy. And he was onside then, Jason Ewell, but couldn't bring it under control.
Just slipped away from the attentions of Klaus Lundekvam. It's been that kind of half.
Yes, it's been a scrappy first half, no score, best opportunity or best sight of goal certainly for James Beattie when a yard or two out he just couldn't adjust his body position to angle the ball in from Jakobsen's header across. Dennis Rommedahl has offered promise for Charlton without necessarily the final ball, but he has given Darren Kenton a torrid time, and at the break it's Charlton 0, Southampton 0 at the Valley.
Now, the last time that Southampton actually won at Charlton, Matthew Le Tissier was playing and scored in 1990, and that was at Selhurst Park. That's where Charlton played then. How they could do with a Matt Le Tissier today, how both sides could do with a Matt Le Tissier. The closest we've come to a goal has come from the away side when James Beattie vaguely got near a shot. Who's going to break the deadlock? We'll talk about it when we come back. Football coming up on Sky Sports at the weekend. Prem Plus offering is Arsenal against Bolton. That's on channel 433, 12:30 on Saturday lunchtime. And then on Sunday from 1 o'clock, Southampton again against Newcastle. 4 o'clock, Chelsea against Tottenham. It's 0-0 on Monday Night Football at the Valley. Charlton against Southampton. Chris Powell and Matt Le Tissier are our guests. Why have they cancelled each other out so much, do you think, Chris?
Well, it's poor fare, really. You know, tonight's game is, two sides that look really, really nervous for me. Haven't really created much chances. The final ball hasn't been too good. And really, they're two similar sides, quite workmanlike. But there's been no quality, really, tonight so far.
The only chance that I suppose you could say that looked like being a goal, and even that was quite a way off, was from Southampton, Matt, and James Beattie.
Yeah, it was. The corner got cleared, Graham Massori with the corner. And I think it was Jakobsen who got himself a little bit of space at the far post. And it was a terrific header back across goal. And I think if you just slow the replay down a bit, I think it was Hradisson just gets a touch as Beats was trying to get his foot up to get to it. And actually caught Beats on the elbow, I think, in the end. But that's the closest we've come, and that's a poor showing for 45 minutes of football. There you go, just a touch there onto his elbow. And away you go. But it has been a very dull first half.
Any chances that have come for Charlton seem as if they may come from the left, from Rommedahl, who I'm told, by people who know these things, does the 100 metres in 10.2 seconds.
Yeah, he's a flying machine.
Which is pretty quick. So why do you think he's not quite been able to open up the defence yet?
Well, I feel he's got the beating of Kenton, as we can see here. It's just his final ball. I mean, that there wasn't really a shot, wasn't really a cross. But every time he runs at Kenton, he beats him. But again, final ball. But I mean,
this was his best ball.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was cut out. But he's very quick. He can cross with either foot. But
so he can play on the right as well.
He can definitely. Yeah, he plays for Denmark. It's just the final ball, and I think if that starts to come, I think the players will arrive, especially Jason Ewell, who's very good at arriving late.
And what about the rest of the Charlton side? Murphy's playing wide. Is that his best position, do you think?
No, I think long term he will play in the centre. But just at the moment, I feel he's doing a job. Alan Kirbishley has asked him to just play wide for him, but he's not too wide like Dennis. He's tucking in slightly, playing alongside Jason Ewell and Kishishev. So, I think long term Murphy will play in the middle because he's better there. He's got a good passing, array of passes, and I think he'll do very well in there in long term.
No goals so far then at the Valley on Monday Night Football, not quite like 2 weeks ago when we got 7 and it could have been about 77. But we know who we think could supply the ammunition. For Charlton, and that's Dennis Rommedahl. For Southampton, could be Beattie, could be someone else. Back in a minute. Live football tonight, live cricket starting tomorrow morning from 10 on Sky Sports 1. We continue our coverage of the ICC Trophy Tournament, Pakistan against Kenya. That will be followed on Wednesday from 10 o'clock, West Indies, Bangladesh. On Thursday, Australia take on New Zealand. And then on Friday, over on Sky Sports 2, from 10 o'clock, it's Sri Lanka against England. Tonight is half-time at the Valley, and Monday Night Football is 0-0 between Charlton and Southampton. In 24 matches between these two at Charlton, there's never been a goalless draw. Who knows if we're going to get one tonight? In the studio with me, Chris Powell and Matt Letizia, and in the gantry, Alan Smith watching this game. Southampton already warming up. They seem not to need a particularly long team chat. Alan, why do you think this game has failed to catch the imagination so far?
Well, I think Ian, Charlton basically haven't played as well as they can do. I've seen their previous 2 home games and they've passed the ball a lot better and they've played at a higher tempo as well. But, you know, you look at this Southampton side, and Kevin Phillips was telling me beforehand that during this 2-week international break they've been working really hard to improve their shape and their discipline, and, you know, to a certain extent that's worked tonight. And the only time that they have looked under threat is when Rommedahl has had a one-on-one against Darren Kenton and he's got to the byline. So things to build on for Southampton, but they will want to provide a bit better service, I think, for Beattie and Phillips.
Alan, interesting that the Southampton team are already out on the pitch. Have you ever seen a whole team doing keep ball during half-time?
I bet they're well pleased with this, man. Just having a cup of tea. But I tell you what, Aston Villa used to do it last season, I think. Graham Taylor used to get them out early, but I don't know, maybe Dennis Rofe or Steve Wigley, it's just an idea from their part. Make sure they don't come out and get caught cold. But
it's not a Clive Woodward innovation, is it, Alan?
It's pardon?
It's not a Clive Woodward innovation, is it?
You'll have to ask that man in picture there. I'm not sure about that one.
Steve Wigley didn't look too happy there, actually. It might even be a little bit of punishment. He's pretty stern there. He's not looking good at all.
Well, I don't know what you think, Matt. I mean, how they've played going forward. It's been hard work, hasn't it, for the strikers?
It has. It's been hard work for the whole team, I think. One thing I have noticed is that whenever the back four of Southampton have got the ball, neither of the 2 central midfielders have come and chauffeur it deep to try and make a little bit of space for the ball into the forwards.
Yeah,
I think it's just been too many long balls.
It's been just sat in trying to protect that back four, hasn't it? And in terms of going forward, that's been kind of secondary importance.
Yeah, definitely.
OK, we need some goals. Here's the second half as Steve Wigley, very annoyed, leaves the pitch. Oh no, he's smiling. It's OK, everyone. He's going to get some goals too. Here's Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne.
Not sure whether he's smiling or just trying to appease the groundsman who'd wanted to do some work on the pitch at half-time, but was stopped from doing that by the training routine that Steve Wigley brought about. He did look very animated when he was giving his players their final talk before going back to his position. Well, Charlton have scored in every league game here they've played since last December when they were involved in a goalless draw with Newcastle. So they'll be just as fired up to build on their 2 home wins so far this season. They've seen off Portsmouth here, they've seen off Villa, but Southampton have proved a tough proposition to overcome. And James Beattie and Kevin Phillips unlock Charlton in the second half. They're looking for Beattie again. It's Fernandez, now Prutton. Header clear by Klaus Lundekvam. Here's Young. Header by Lisby. Cleared by Jakobsen. Phillips came belatedly from an offside position. So I wonder what words of wisdom Alan Kirbishley conjured during the break.
Well, I think he will want to make sure that his team passes it better and does play at a higher tempo as well. It's been at times a little bit too laboured, the build-up. And Southampton have been able to get all their men behind the ball.
Murphy, in a way, a complete breakdown in understanding there with Francis Jeffers. And Kevin Phillips is the subject of player cam at the start of the second half. Sky Digital viewers, press the red button on your remote. Here's Jakobsen. Kenton. And then Prupp. Kevin Phillips. Fabrice Fernandez. Now Lasso, under pressure from Kishishev. Back from Jakobsen. Luke Young. Kishishev. Jeffers on the turn. Forcing the save.
That's clever play from Fernie Jeffers. He used the run of Radostin Kishishev as a decoy. He knew that if he spun, he might find a yard of space, and he did that on his left foot. Didn't quite catch it. Capable of that. Fernie Jeffers just working half a yard inside that penalty area, getting his shot away.
Danny Murphy started on the right side of midfield, but they've since drawn Radostin Kishishev out to this side, and Murphy is now occupying central territory.
Well, he doesn't look so happy, does he, out on one of the flanks? I don't think there's any doubt about that. This is where he prefers to be. And maybe when he arrived, he's a little bit surprised that he didn't start in the middle.
Ryderson meeting a free kick, but unable to do anything with it, and James Beattie brings it clear for Southampton. Kishishev getting his body in the way of Anders Svensson. Kept in by fortune, but this is Lasso. Jakobsen, it's been a steady start for him to his Southampton career. Phillips with plenty of work to do.
That's the kind of ball that Kevin Phillips and James Beattie have had to feed on. It's been more often than not those straight balls that are very hard for a striker to make anything of. They don't play with too much width, Southampton. When they do get it out wide to the likes of Fernandez, he'll come inside and try and whip it in with his left foot. So it's been hard going for Phillips and Beattie. Not too much to feed on.
Jeffers, Lisby onto it quickly, but his initial touch didn't do him any favours. Young couldn't keep it in. Quick thinking by Phillips, looking for David Prutton.
There hasn't been too many times when David Prutton or Rory Delap have actually made those runs beyond the forwards into the final third. Prutton tried to do it then.
It's a long throw from Delap. Beattie challenges for it.
Looking for knockdowns, aren't they, Southampton, more than a direct head-on goal.
Kishishev clearly thought the yaw was behind him. So, Phillips. From Murphy. Perry coming across just in case. Fernandez got there. Young. Away by Jakobsen. Now Lisby. Jeffers makes his break through the middle, cut out though by Jakobsen. fortune. Now Danny Murphy. Perry. Far too long for Radostin Kishishev.
Well, just got to be careful that they don't force it, Charlton, and give the ball away like Perry did there. Still a chunk of this half to go.
Fernandez. Fortune clattering into the back of Kevin Phillips.
Well, this was maybe a challenge that he didn't have to make up against Kevin Phillips. 20 yards out, it's a decent position.
Really the second free kick in a decent position, a striking position that Southampton have won. BT hit the one in the first half against the wall.
Well,
not even reached the volunteers.
It's a little bit further out, wasn't it, that BT one? And this is set up for the left footers. Graham Lasso, perhaps.
It is Lasso. Through the wall, but not close enough to the goal for his liking.
An awful lot of bodies in that penalty area because Jason Yule decided to funnel back and go on the post, and so all manner of players in there.
Phillips!
Well, he knows that was a decent opportunity to at least test the goalkeeper, Kevin Phillips. He hasn't had too many of them this game, and when they do come, he's going to try and make sure that he makes them pay. Set up, took it early, a little too early perhaps. Sliced it over.
Well, it's a partnership, Phillips and Beattie, that has goals in it. Their career records would show that. But their chances tonight have been very limited. Perry getting across in time ahead of Delap. And Kishishev couldn't keep it in. Here's Delap. Hreiderson, Romadal, Herman, Hreiderson again. Beattie. Fernandez caught Perry. Lisby.
Good roll there, Kevin Lisby. He got the run on Delap. Got his head to it. And in the end, half a decent chance.
Here's Hreiderson. Now Romadal. Lisby. Murphy. Young. Yule. Broken up by Anders Svensson. They're trying to retrieve it from him. Southampton have started the second half brightly. Lasso. Offside here, Kevin Phillips.
He just started his run of faction too early. He was offside. Kevin Phillips, although he feels that he wasn't. Lasso lining up to pass it. There's not too much in it. And I think he was by half a yard.
Young's ball aimed for Lisby, but Lundekvam is there. Now Danny Murphy. Kishishev has Young outside, Lisby here ahead. Now Young's drawn into it. Kishishev.
It's just a hopeful ball, isn't it? A hopeful ball, and too many of those we've seen tonight from both teams, to be fair. Time for a change.
Quality of the service will have upset Alan Kirbishley. Brian Hughes getting ready to come on. Lining up another long throw in. Back off Jonathan Fortune.
Well, that's what it's about. Getting bits and pieces off it, the throw. It's a percentage ball, and we've got a corner.
Svensson with the corner. Headed away by Fortune. And then completed by Jeffers. It's Kenton. Cleared by Ewell. Now Romadal looking to set Lisby through, but Lasso crucially was back there in the right place.
Well, that was experienced defending, because Graham Lasso knew that he was outnumbered, that it was 2 against 1, and he knew as well, I think, that Romadal was going to play this little cute header across. Did ever so well to read it.
Good last-ditch defending from Graham Lasso to frustrate Romadal's intentions then.
Yeah, you can't knock Romadal for the idea.
And it's a positive move being made by Charlton. They're taking off a defensive midfielder in Radostin Kishishev and bringing on Brian Hughes to try and find that missing spark.
Well, Alan Kirbishley will be hoping that he can provide the quality, you know, the bit of invention that's been missing when Charlton have got themselves into some, you know, promising positions.
Ewell. Now Svensson. Fernandez. Go back towards Prutton. Ryderson got there, but this is Lasso. Header back from Phillips. Anders Svensson. Lined up for Rory Delap. What a save! Wonderful stop from Kylie.
Well, it certainly was, and it looked like Southampton had actually missed the chance to get in a shot, because Svensson gets it all wrong there. The ball escapes him, and Delap does ever so well to manufacture a little bit of room in a tight space. That's an instinctive arm from Dean Kylie.
One-time colleagues in the Irish international setup. Kylie thwarts Rory Delap. But Southampton, who are having an enjoyable spell here, the visitors, with the corner. It's Lasso who sweeps it across, and Fortune who meets it with a head.
Well, it was Graham Lasso's corner, and it was Graham Lasso's cross that created that chance onto the head of Kevin Phillips, who did well to pull away from his man.
Beattie making a claim to get there. Came off the head of Ryderson though.
Well, it's a good spell of pressure from Southampton, probably the best of the match so far.
By Lisby, but Prutton was underneath it. And he's there again, David Prutton. Kenton trying to keep the pressure on. Ryderson away. Prutton. The hour mark, a change of subject for player cam. We're now concentrating on Anders Svensson of Southampton. Delap. Late flag up here against Phillips. The referee hasn't seen it yet. It's a long time pass, but his attention has been drawn to it now by the crowd.
Well, it's a hopeful ball up the line, and Kevin Phillips is just walking back.
Murphy. Anders Svensson. And it's Phillips. And Phillips is round the goalkeeper. And still they can't deliver. It looked as though Phillips might get through then because Young had slipped, but he couldn't take the chance.
What an opportunity for Southampton, who have really come out in this second half with a lot more purpose. You see Luke Young slipping there, and he's got a decision here. He does keep his cool. He sees his teammate in the middle, but can't pick him out.
Spencer's corner. Oh, that looked a free header for Beattie. Lundegren was coming in behind as well.
There's a bit of confusion in that Charlton back line because they're under the cosh at the moment. Some quality balls being delivered into the penalty area, and Lundegren, well, he hasn't got a great goal record, has he? Does everything right here, and it was James Beattie just in front of him that puts him off in effect. Doesn't see the ball till very late. Beattie gets the touch.
Well, you would have expected Southampton to have seized one of these opportunities now. Lars Lundegren, who has only scored one goal for Southampton in some 306 previous appearances. Big chance there. Here's Murphy with the free kick. Charlton have been on the ropes. Romadal. Prutton leaving it for Anders Svensson, and Ewell stepped in. That's Kenton who clears, and Prutton could break through the middle here. And Kylie has to make another save and gets to the rebound.
That's unlucky. It's unlucky from Prutton. He knew he had to take his shot early, had 2 men around him.
Beattie. Surely Southampton, who keep knocking at the door, have got to break through soon. Delap breaks here for Lisby. A high line from Southampton looking to catch Jeppers offside, but it's Jason Ewell who got through and can't finish.
Well, I think that's something we're going to see increasingly in this second half. Jason Ewell joining his attackers and just trying to surge through the middle. He is a striker by nature, but he scuffs that one. Under pressure, it has to be said. That's a hopeful ball, but he sees Prutton, to be fair to him, Darren Kenton, and doesn't get as much weight behind it as he would have liked on the stretch.
Ewell at one end, Prutton at the other. But the game opening up a lot more now in this second half. Chances at either end, but certainly the majority of them to Southampton, and the better chances too. Kenton here has been injured.
I said at half-time that, you know, it wasn't a classic first half, but what Southampton had done was kept a clean sheet first of all, and a chance to build on that, and they have done that in this second half.
Jonathan Johansson maybe about to come on here for Charlton. Mervyn Day going through the final instructions with him. Johansson, who's indicated he'd like a loan move away from here if he's not to get regular first team football. Can he be the missing element? Strong header on from Beattie. Phillips can't make the most of it, but Beattie's there again, and Phillips is offside again.
Well, all of a sudden, Southampton are attacking the ball a lot better, not letting Charlton settle on it. It was James Beattie storming onto it and headed it forward. A bit more like the Southampton of old. Beattie attacking it with a lot of bravery. Again, just a yard off Phillips.
play from James Beattie, and twice challenging to get that ball through. Ryderson hurt in the process, but Darren Kenton, who was hurt earlier and went off, has now come back on. Now Ryderson will take a temporary leave of absence. Murphy. Pushed by Lisby. Kenton still seems to be in some difficulty, not moving very smoothly at all, is he? Substitutions being made by Charlton, though we assume is a tactical one. No injury problem with Francis Jeffers, but Jonathan Johansson coming on just to try and ask a few more questions of Ludwig van and Jakobsen.
Yeah, well, Alan Kirbishley obviously feeling that Fanny Jeffers has given all he can. A few boos from the crowd. Not the most popular decision in some areas, but Johansson, fresh legs, knows where the goal is.
So's ball. Well, Phillips increasingly caught in the offside trap, but Charlton are deploying against him. Lundekvam, Jakobsen, Svensson to Phillips. Fernandez.
It was another close one, wasn't it? He just kept it in first half, Fernandez, and that looked quite similar.
Perry. Lisby's flick. Now Johansson with his first chance to get into the game. Lisby makes a driving run through the middle. Romedal's on the far side. Oh, it's deflected for the corner. Jakobsen just held his breath.
Well, did his job. Jakobsen had to get some kind of contact, and facing your own goal, you're in danger of putting it into your own net. He didn't do that with Lisby behind him.
Romedal's corner. Fortune challenging with Niemi, who was strong. Hughes. Great ball to Romedal. Murphy got into a good position, but Lasso stopped it from getting through to him. Romedal again. Now he has found Danny Murphy. 4 in the middle for Charlton. Svensson holds him up, but not for long. Can he pull it across here? Romedal! Deflected over. Corner.
Well, now it's Charlton's turn, isn't it? Old-fashioned good chance there, really. Got past Danny Murphy got past his man a little bit easier than he should have, to be fair. Since Brian Hughes' introduction, they've switched Romedal over onto the right-hand side up against Graham Lasso. See if he can get the kind of joy he did against Darren Kenton in the first half.
Romedal's kick, Lisby going in for it. Kenton met it. Young with the throw. Cleared by Lundekvam. Perry advancing. Romedal. Now Young. Fortune was round the back. Cleared by Phillips. Perry. Murphy. Ryderson. Now Lisby. Busby beaten on the ball, has to pick himself up quickly. Charlton with some defending to do from the throw-in.
Shy in these instances. Southampton getting the big men forward, both centre halves.
Can Fernandez find either one of them, or Beattie or Phillips, who are also in there? Cleared by Fortune. Prutton. Lundigvan has stayed forward. Here's Svensson. Beattie, Phillips, it's Delap again! And he's denied again.
Well, got the weight taken off it by the challenge. And again, do well to fashion a little bit of room. Nice triangle from Southampton.
Busby met the corner. Perry coming to Beattie late, but getting there. This is Fernandez. Foul by Danny Murphy, but a good advantage played then by Neil Barry. I think he might take further action later. Here's Svensson. He's let it go.
Svensson had the option there. Graham Lasso was overlapping. Chose to cut inside.
Michael Nielsen, who lasted only the first half of Southampton's opening day defeat by Aston Villa, coming on for his second appearance now.
35, Michael Nielsen.
Just over a quarter of an hour left for Nielsen. Svensson. Here's Phillips. Prutton. It's Fernandez who gets it across. Wall back there, helping the defence. Back in from Delap. Beattie!
Wonderful play from Jonathan Fortune. Great defender's example of staying with your man as Beattie ploughed in on this. Stuck with it, Fortune. That's a couple of yards from goal. It's a battle of physical strength in there.
Third final substitution for the Alex. Please show your appreciation to number 19, Dennis Romadal.
Dennis Romadal going off to be replaced by Talal El Karkouri.
And please welcome number 15, Talal
The
El
Moroccan coming on for his fourth appearance as a substitute for Charlton. Hughes can't complete the clearance. Nielsen. And dangerous ball. And Kylie was really quick then, anticipating the danger posed by Beattie.
It was a slack ball, one that you don't normally associate with Danny Murphy, but full credit to the striker. He anticipated, made life awkward for Kylie.
Effective weapon, and it was seemingly left by Haridason, and Lundigvan couldn't make the most of it.
Oh, he just drifted off his man, didn't he? Totally unmarked. This is the Danny Murphy back pass. A little bit blind, turns round. Look at Beattie, he reads it very quickly. Very sharp from Dean Kiley, had to be off his line.
Darren Kenton, who's been so unlucky with injuries, tonight was only his 8th Premiership appearance for Southampton since joining them at the beginning of last season, and it's another injury that's forced him to go off, an ankle problem. Foul by Yule. Tuesday and Wednesday action in the Champions League this week on Sky Sports. On Wednesday at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, Lyon against Manchester United, and we'll also be witnessing Liverpool's introduction in this season's competition at home to Monaco from 6 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra. But as ever, a choice of viewing with all 6 other matches available to you via our interactive service. There's Nielsen, hopeful one. Cleared by Young. It's Prutton. Fernandez. And cleared by Fortune. Fernandez. Hughes. Yule back to Murphy. New play from Murphy, but Hughes had come narrow. Murphy went wide.
It's not quite happened for Danny Murphy tonight. As I said, normally such an accurate passer, reliable passer, but I'm a little bit astray. But Alan Kirbishley has just swapped things about. He's pushed Jason Yule up front alongside Jonathan Johansson. Lisby dropping into right midfield. See if that'll make a difference.
They've got a deflection, it's a corner. Taking a position right by Niemi as Murphy prepares to deliver. We've seen some pushing. Ryderson may have been guilty. Well, Kenton's already had a problem, and Lundekvam is feeling the effects of injury now. Beattie. Phillips. Prutton. Here's Delap with the throw. Nielsen. And for the closing stages of the game, player cam will concentrate on Jason Yule.
He hasn't got too many options, has he, Alan Kirbishley? I think he ideally would have liked to have got in another striker before the transfer window closed. I think he might have gone in for Darren Bent at Ipswich, denied that one, but did get Fanny Jeffers. Yule, if need be, can play up there.
Has pushed on a bit in the later stages of this game. Yule with Lisby coming out wide. The bid for Darren Bent was around about the £3 million mark, if reports are to be believed. They could well go back for him when the transfer window reopens. The riders. Murphy. This is Prutton. Beattie made a useful burst, but Perry got across there in time. And for the first time, we're seeing the referee dip into his pocket. David Prutton is going to be booked.
He did have a chance, Neil Barry, to play the advantage. He's done that more than once this match. Charlton in a decent position as Hughes helps it around the corner.
Jakobsen. Hughes' header. Lasso. Clearing header by Lupio. Lasso. Svensson. Phillips. Prutton. It's Nielsen's cross. Just beyond James Beattie's reach. Lundekvam. Now Fernandez. Lasso. Header out by Chris Perry.
Well, there's been a definite improvement, hasn't there, from the visitors in the second half. Showed a bit more self-belief when they've been in possession. Pushed Charlton back, kept the pressure up a lot better.
Beattie got in front of his man with the flick on. They are appealing that there was a hand there from Jonathan Fortune.
Well, those fans behind the goal seem convinced. Difficult to tell straight away as the ball shot towards Fortune.
The lapse throw, Lundekvam got across. And Kylie was alert. That's Lasso trying to keep the pressure on. Flick on by Svensson. Here's Svensson. Delap. Kylie can let that one drift by.
Well, this is the handball appeal. Beattie got to it and flicked it on. Came very quick. I think that's going to be harsh to give a penalty for that. His arms are down by his side. Might have brushed the wrist, but no penalty for me.
He's actually trying to pull it out of the way almost, isn't he? Well, you'd think Southampton might be satisfied with a point after 2 defeats on the trot. But they're throwing on Peter Crouch, taking off Fabrice Fernandez.
There's number 14, Peter Crouch.
And in many ways, it's a good outlet for Southampton. They can help the ball up there and hope it sticks to Peter Crouch. Tick down the clock.
And the chairman clearly delighted to see Peter Crouch on.
I think it was his decision to buy him.
It is interesting, this business about head coach. It does beg the question of who makes the decisions on the players that are brought in. Lisby.
Well, neither side at this stage will want to give a silly goal away.
Phillips has taken up Fernandez's old position on the right as this one's drifted in towards Lisby. Niemi came determined. Actually clattered into Lasso in the process.
He's got a nasty whack, I think, on the back of the head. Graham Lasso as his 16-stone goalkeeper piled into him. It's the life of a defender, unfortunately. Keeper's coming through and it's his knee, hasn't it? Caught the back of his head. That is going to be very painful indeed.
So caught in between Niemi and Lisby. But it was his goalkeeper's knee that's left him all shaken up.
I don't think he'll be too dissatisfied with tonight, Steve Wigley, particularly the way his team have come out after the break. Shown a lot more purpose, kept a clean sheet. If this scoreline stays the same, I'll be pleased with that.
And to get a draw would be a starting point. They haven't lost 3 Premiership games in a row in 19 months. They would have had this one ended up with them being on the wrong end of the scoreline. So has gone off for now. And Kevin Lisby gives Southampton the ball back. There's Crouch, on by Svensson, and Beattie looking to get in around the back of Fortune. And here's a long way out this time, Delap. With Crouch in there, little other option. And he's punished for backing into Perry.
I think he had a little shove as well with the player in front of him, Peter Crouch, because he was surrounded. You see a little shove at El Kakuri, arm on the shoulder, gets sandwiched in the end.
So uncertain as to why that was given against him, but Neil Barry, well placed, has given Charlton the free kick, and with little over 2 minutes to go, this provides a potential opening for them. Drifted in by Murphy. Nielsen tries to get it away. Phillips helps to complete the clearance, and El Karkouri understandably wants to get on with things. He's retrieved it to take the throw in. Is going to try and launch one. 90 seconds plus stoppage time left. It's over El Karkouri's head. Appeals for hands against Crouch. Lisby takes a swipe at it, and Jakobsen gets it away.
Well, when you consider Southampton came into this match with Kenton playing his first game of the season and Lundegram's partner Jakobsen making his debut, they've done pretty well. Been under some pressure, but they've held it together at the back, Southampton.
Crouch. Cleared by Murphy. Johansson. Beattie. Murphy. Johansson on to Yule. Lundegram gets it away. This is Nielsen. Jakobsen looks for and finds Svensson. Little ball on as well to Beattie. And there'll be 3 additional minutes, and it's Delap who's moved on to it from Lassau's ball across. Perry keeps it out for now, and Beattie challenged with Fortune.
They're a very fit side, Southampton always have been, and that was an example of it with Rory Delap bombing into the box. Probably something they haven't done enough. Southampton, the central midfielders getting into those areas.
Another corner off for Iderson. And it's Svensson to take. Steer it in. Phillips gets it back out to David Prutton. And it'll fall here to Anders Svensson, who tries to drive it back across. Now Lasso. Well, there was real uncertainty in the Charlton area then.
Oh, what a glorious chance this was to nick it. Peter Crouch getting the first header, and Rory Delap swings the leg, doesn't make contact, any kind of contact. Surely that would have ended up in the back of the net. Great save though. Got in the way, Dean Kiley, but that man there really. I got to bed tonight thinking perhaps he could have pinched the 3 points here.
Well, it looks like Dean Kiley will be lobbing £50 in the pot for charity, as he's pledged to do all season whenever he keeps a clean sheet. And he has played a big part in keeping that clean sheet. And he's kept Rory Delap at bay. Some Charlton fans have given up hope of victory. They're leaving with just a little under a minute of stoppage time left.
I think they'll see their team play a lot better this season than they have done tonight at the Valley.
And Phillips here is looking to get through. Haridason gets it back. No nonsense clearance from Kiley. Anders Svensson. Here's Hughes. Is there to be one last hope for Charlton? No, he's given it away to Nielsen. Hughes given away again to Phillips, but this time Haridason wins it back.
Well, concentration's the key now. Tired minds, tired legs, a few loose balls.
Cheers all around the Valley. It's stalemate in the end. Dean Kiley keeping Southampton at bay, especially his one-time Republic of Ireland colleague Rory Delap, an especially good save from one of his shots in the second half. Southampton at least stopped the rot. They've ended their run of 2 defeats. They've got their first clean sheet of the season, and it's finished Charlton 0, Southampton 0.
And we'll hope for more goals over the next couple of nights on Sky Sports as we concentrate on the Champions League, which starts all over again. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Celtic against Barcelona on Sky Sports 2. If you want to watch Valencia Anderlecht, that's on Sky Sports Extra. All the other 4 matches we're offering via the interactive service on Sky Sports Extra. And then on Wednesday from 6 o'clock you can watch Lyon against Manchester United on Sky Sports 2, Liverpool against Monaco on Sky Sports Extra, or all other 6 matches via the interactive service on Sky Sports Extra. The table looks like this in the Premiership after that result. Both teams have gone up 1 place. Charlton into the top 10. They now have 7 points. Southampton have also climbed just the 1 place from 16th to 15th with 4 points from 5 matches. Chris Powell of Charlton and Matt Letizia, ex-Southampton, are our guests this evening, and they'll cast their eye over what happened and what didn't happen tonight on the pitch at the Valley. It was a case of so near and so far, mostly for Southampton, as Kiley once again on Monday Night Football was very much on song. Monday Night Football, 0-0 between Charlton and Southampton at the Valley. Before we get comment from our experts, let's hear from 2 of the people involved and 2 of the people who made sure that it was 0-0. Andreas Jakobsen for Southampton, man of the match, and also in goal for Charlton, Dean Kiley. They're both with Jeff Shreves.
Dean, Andreas, was that a game that just couldn't get going?
Yeah, I think so. I think both teams will feel that there was more in the tank and maybe a bit more quality. But I think if that's missing, then the ingredient has got to be hard work and effort and endeavour. And I think both teams certainly had that.
Andreas, was it a frustrating night?
No, I don't think so. I think we have, for the first half today, I think we played very well. We have a good chances and a little bit luck, then we have scored 1 or 2 goals today.
And the fact as well, you're off the back of a 2-game run where you're being beaten, so you've stopped the rot.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so. but we need 3 points. But today we have 1 point, and perhaps the next game we have 3 points. So then we'll go.
It was your debut. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think it was okay today. I think we played very well in the back, and the whole team. I think we played very aggressive, and we have a couple of chances. So perhaps we deserve to win, but 0-0 is okay.
Dean, Rory Delap, you denied him. Was that really the highlight of the match for you?
Probably, yeah. I mean, obviously faced him in Ireland training sessions for about 4 or 5 years, so had a little chuckle about it at the end. But obviously, probably what looked a dour affair. It was a decent effort, and I was pleased to tip it over. Yeah.
Well, you get booed by the home crowd as well. Is that frustrating for the players?
I think it's frustrating for everybody in the valley. Yeah, people have come to see us entertain and attack people. We've had two home victories, so the onus is definitely on us to attack. But like I say, when them ingredients are missing for whatever reason, and it's not through lack of application or effort on our part, then you've got to be hard to beat. And coming off the back, of a 4-0 at Man City, it was important for us to get a clean sheet and start again and build a solid foundation again.
You did get a point and a clean sheet, and somebody else benefits from that as well, don't they? Can you explain?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this year the club are working closely with the Melzer House, which is a hospice that serves the South East, and clean sheets mean money, and we're hoping the fans are going to get behind us and sponsor us as well. And a good friend of mine, John Hayes, is backing it as well and matching it, so it's a bit of fun as well. So but everyone benefits tonight.
It's a smashing gesture. Anyway, Andreas, tonight you are the Barclays man of the match. Perhaps you'll do the honours, please, Dean.
Yeah, well done, Andreas. Well done, big man. Good luck. Well done.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Well, we're going to dig out some highlights of the match and analyse them. And Chris Powell, we don't have one Charlton chance to show. Why?
Well, a lack of quality really in the final third. The final ball wasn't very good tonight, and really it's for a home side not to have a chance on goal or on target at least. It's disappointing to say the least.
Especially coming off the back of 2 wins at home as well.
That's right, yeah. Obviously we lost the last game away at Manchester City 4-0, so I think the only person who'd be happy tonight will be Dean Kiley because he got a clean sheet. But I mean, the side has played very well at home in the last 2 games, and tonight it just looked like a team that has been thrown together. The boys didn't perform at all tonight.
Did they miss Matty Holland? Was he a big factor in that, in the creativity department?
Possibly. He's a key player, but he's been missing from the first game. So, the players that are out there tonight know they will perform a lot better than that. And I was quite surprised with us, the onus being on Charlton to take the game to Southampton, that Romadal came off because he had the beating of the fullback.
I wonder why he did that. We'll ask
Maybe
him
he's
later
injured.
on.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah, sure. The first half was one pretty much to forget, so all our highlights as they were come from the second half, and all Southampton chances, Matt, and some decent ones as well. If Kiley hadn't been in form, you could have come away with 3 points tonight.
Yeah, without question. I think everybody's in agreement that Southampton were the better team tonight. It was just as Pauli said, a lack of creativity, a lack of just the final ball, a little bit more caretaker in the final delivery, and that's why the chances weren't all that clear cut. There was a couple of scrambles, and Rory Delap had a couple of shots which tested Dean Kiley. But I think, all in all, I think the Southampton just edged the game, but there wasn't a great deal of quality out there.
Here is the Kiley chance, or at least the Kiley save from the Delap chance, and he played well, the goalkeeper Kiley. Often does when we show these games live, and we've got quite a few examples of how he did. Should he have scored?
Anders Svensson, a little bit unlucky there, ball rebound off his thigh, but set up Rory Delap, and it was a good strike. He couldn't have done any more, I don't think, Rory, in that situation. A couple of defenders in his way, maybe a slight deflection on the way through there as well, but Dean Kiley's made a super save, and Rory again there could just any kind of deflection on that, and you're looking at a goal, but he's taken a complete air shot. And again, Dean Kiley's done well, keep his eye on the ball. A good bit of goalkeeping.
Are you pleased with the way that Southampton played and the chances they made, or was it too scrappy for you?
I think it was a little bit scrappy, especially first half. I think second half, I think we asserted ourselves a bit more on the game, and we always looked like the team that were going to nick the goal. I think, and I think that Charlton had one header on target and a Jason Yule shot, which he skewed 10 yards wide. But this was a decent chance if Kev had taken it a little bit earlier. Good feat to get round Kiley, but by that time 5 or 6 defenders back on the line. And there you go, Klaus Lundegren showing that he's not a goal scorer. Decent chance with the head, and took his eye off it just at the last minute. This we thought had gone in. It looked like Kiley had spoiled that over the top of himself, but hopes were dashed. This is a great great ball in. Rory Delap with his left foot, which is not his strongest.
That's Fortune's header, though, really.
It was a great piece of defending.
Outstanding defending. He's a good young player who has got his chance this year, and hopefully he'll take it.
When we come back, we shall have a look at some of the games coming up this week on Sky Sports. The Champions League, of course, features high on our list of priorities. And also, you can look forward to what our two fans made of this match from the commentary box. It will, of course, mean Fan Zone. We'll see you in a few moments.
Go on, Liz. Go on, jump on! Is it, son? Oh, got a little fraggy. Oh, yeah, that's it. How bad was your defence? We cut you open like a knife through the proverbial butter. You know it, you know it.
Monday Night Football, welcome back at the Valley tonight. No goals, Charlton 0, Southampton 0. Let's speak to the Charlton manager, Alan Kirbishley, who's joining us from the ground. Alan, what did you make of that game?
Well, obviously I'm happy to get a point out of that, to be fair. We haven't played very well at all. And, but the critical thing for me, I've been, very critical of the back four and the way we've been defending, and I think they saved us the point tonight. The back four and the keeper really dug in and got us the point.
Why do you feel the rest of the team didn't quite spark?
Because they never managed to pass it to each other. It was amazing. I think there was one section in the second half where virtually every single player that got on the ball, apart from them back four players, gave it away. And, good players giving 10-yard balls the wrong side of their colleagues, and you can't get going. And so Southampton got on top of us. They got a lot of balls in the box, which we knew they would do, but we defended them well, and when the keeper needed to make some saves, he done it.
In the first half, your one threat looked as if it might come from Romedal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's very pacey, and we've been trying to get him into them positions, but we just couldn't get the final ball. I think there was a couple of occasions in that first half where we broke through quite easily, but the final ball wasn't there. We had too many players off colour, and you can't have 7 or 8 players struggling and expect to win in the Premiership.
Any idea why that was?
No, I mean, let's give Southampton credit. I think they pressurised us. They asked us what we had. They pressurised our first touch, and we didn't have a lot, to be fair. And they won the ball back and got their game going. So, let's give them some credit. They came here and done a job on us.
Ryderson got a bit of a knock. Is he okay? Because Chris Powell's a bit concerned about him.
Well, he kept knocking on my door, and I kept saying to him, no, we're going to get injuries and everything else. But no, I think he's all right, and I just hope Chris has a successful month and gets some football.
Our Charlton fan who was doing the Fan Zone tonight wanted me to ask you why you took Romedal off. Can you answer him?
Well, because I knew that Crouch was going to come on at some stage, and I just felt that we was never going to get going, and we had to have some more players out that could deal with them set plays, because when you analyse it, the chances probably been created from long throws and corners, and we didn't have enough height there, so I wanted to get Talau on so that he could mark Crouch when he eventually came on.
Thanks for coming on, Alan.
OK.
It's Alan Kirbishley. So it was 0-0 at the Valley between Charlton and Southampton. What did our fans make of it? This is what they made of it. It's Fan Zone.
Go on, Liz. Go on, jump on! Is it, son? Oh, got a little fraggy. Oh, yeah, that's it. How bad was your defence? We cut you open like a knife through the proverbial butter. You know it, you know it. Let's have a nice cross. Cut in, bang it goes. Jeffers, 1-0! He's on his jack. He's on his jack. He ain't going nowhere.
Too much of it.
He's going nowhere.
Oh, come on. You've done all the hard work.
I can see Kylie now. The rain has gone.
Come on, boys. Pin him back. Pin him back. Watch your sides, boys. It's a good ball in.
Ain't bad.
No! No! Oh!
Out! 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 No! Oh! Dino! What a save! What a save!
Give here.
No!
Go, give it! Go!
No! Out!
What is going on?
I don't know what they are.
Yes! What is going on?
Hey!
Matt, it looked like you were at the dentist's.
Wow, can you blame me? What a
He'd rather be at the dentist.
dismal display that was. I mean, to talk for 90 minutes through that was the most difficult thing without swearing. You know, usually I'm up in the upper tier and I've had a beer and it's great, but I don't accept Alan's answer there of bringing on El Kakuri to defend. You're at home. You're playing. They were a mediocre team. I'm sorry, I didn't rate them at all. And you're defending. Ramadan was the only way we was going to score. It was poor, really poor. And I'm worried. We missed that heartbeat. We missed the Richard Rufus, the Scotty Parker.
You needed a cameo or something just to unlock.
Yeah, something different. It was really bad, and we were lucky to get a point. You know, but rubbish.
Ian, Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game at all. I think we did just about well enough to take all 3 points, but it just didn't happen for us. I think the chances we had, I couldn't believe I didn't go in, but it was a very poor game, and I think a point is probably the fairest result from a very bad game. Yeah.
Okay, let's get the Southampton point of view from their manager, Steve Wigley's with Jeff Shreves.
Steve, you've stopped the slide. You've got a point. Are you happy?
Not really, no. I thought we did enough to win the game. We had more opportunities. Players worked very, very hard, very committed. We created a lot of chances. Unfortunately, didn't take them.
Did everything go to plan tonight in terms of what you set out to do?
Yeah, I think we had a game plan, and the players worked very hard and stuck to it. And we knew that as the game went on, we'd pass the ball a little bit better. We wanted to get balls in the box, which we did, and just didn't get the final thing.
What was the key thing about your approach tonight? The tempo?
Yes, I think we were back to being what we're good at. You know, we were hard working, and from that we started to play. We've had a good 10 days training, really, of topping our fitness up, and people sometimes think you just work people hard so they can run about, but you need to get fit to use your talent, and I thought as the game went on, I thought we would be the team that won it.
Lots of managers complain about international duty, but you've enjoyed the 10 days, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Just for the fact that we signed Andreas Jakobsen right on the deadline at the 11th hour, and it gave him an opportunity to have an idea what English football's all about, really. So we've bombarded him in training a little bit and worked him just so that he knew that come tonight that what the tempo of the game would be. And like I said earlier, we've been able to top our fitness up as well.
To get something out of any Premiership game, have your team got to be like that, i.e. at the races every single game?
Yeah, we definitely are a club. You know, I've worked here for the last 3.5 years, and if we play at 90%, we're very vulnerable. We've always got to be bang on, doing what we do well. No different to most teams, to be fair, but some of the top teams can sometimes play at 90% and win a game. We'll never have that luxury.
Next up, it's Newcastle. You're always wary of a club with a new manager?
Yes, I hope their new manager doesn't start with a few wins. I know what it's like to lose my first game, so I wish Graham all the best after Sunday, of course.
Thanks, Steve.
Pleasure.
0-0 tonight. Let's look ahead to the Champions League, shall we? It starts tomorrow, and of course we've got coverage on Tuesday and Wednesday. Champions League fixtures then, involving the British clubs. On Tuesday, tomorrow, Arsenal against PSV, Celtic against Barcelona, Larson back in Glasgow, and Paris Saint-Germain against Chelsea. And then on Wednesday, our coverage starts at 6 o'clock then, by the way, Liverpool against Monaco and Lyon against Manchester United. More European action on Thursday. Hearts against Braga. Maritimo will play Rangers. Middlesbrough start their European odyssey against Banik Ostrava. Millwall against Ferencváros. And Newcastle against Beni Saknin. Let's talk to our fans about some of these. Steve Fawkins, our Manchester United fan. You've got loads of people missing. Gary Neville's out for a while now. Yeah, and one famous newspaper pundit said today, you are no longer considered a great side. How do you plead?
He also said you'll win nothing with kids, and he knows who he is.
Right.
Take no notice of him. He's just getting stuck in, isn't he? You know, old Liverpool boy. We're not playing well, quite obviously and clearly, but as we just spoke a minute ago, we've got 6 or 7 players still out. We've got the most exciting football in the world to come in the next few weeks, so we'll see where we get to. I think it's just a case of, outside the Champions League, just sticking in with it till Christmas and trying to get a bit of a run together and see where we get to. But if we keep getting injuries and the unlucky things happening, then
you're
we'll
just
get nowhere.
grabbing draws though, aren't you? Last minute draws.
We've got to just keep getting a point, because the times like this we just don't look like we're going to win anyway. But if we can get a point, we'll stay there or thereabouts. But Arsenal, they've torn away anyway. There's 3 games in.
Can you catch them? Do you think?
Away we go. There's a long way to go yet. So,
Steve, you're our Bolton fan. You must be I can't believe what's happened, can you, so far?
Yeah, we've had a great start. Obviously, very disappointing to throw it away at the end there. Having come back from a goal down to get ourselves into a position where it looked like we were going to get all 3 points, it was disappointing to give that away at the end. But yeah, we've had a great start, and I think we've carried on from where we left off at the end of last season. It's just really a case of keeping it going.
Well, you keep your manager as well.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I run out of words to talk about Arsenal at the moment, don't you? But I'm sure you'll find some.
Yeah, it's nice what's happening at the minute, and I think people are getting carried away to an extent. There's only been 5 games in the league so far, and we haven't played any of the top sides yet, so there's no point going mad just yet. But once the Champions League starts, that's where more of a test is going to come in. A few more injuries, and we'll start to see what the rest of the squad's really like. But we've faith in everyone that's there, really, and faith that it could be a really.
So you don't
good
think you're
season.
playing better than you did last season?
I think we probably are playing better now than we did for the majority of last season. The first half of last year we were more about just nicking wins and being resilient and the odd good performance, but and then it all carried on from there. But now this time we've really started well, and we're so far ahead of United now. That's nice, and if we can keep edging away at Chelsea, then that'll be even nicer.
Chelsea going nowhere.
There was another clinical performance from Arsenal, 3-0, even though it was slightly controversial, but then it could have been a penalty to Arsenal as well, of course, to Fulham. Now let's move on to Middlesbrough. Again, you've brought in a lot of expensive players, and it is working, isn't it?
It's looking great at the minute. Viduka and Hasselbank, there were questions, a few queries about them at the start of the season with their temperament and whether they gel together, but they really seem to be working hard for the club. Both of them look like they've got fire in their belly, and Middlesbrough are scoring goals. It's fantastic, Looking forward to our first UEFA Cup match, which Middlesbrough fans have waited a lifetime for, so really excited about it. Yeah, great times at Middlesbrough at the moment.
Terrific. Good luck.
I mean, possibly we can even play better than we are doing, but...
Don't get carried away. Thank you to all of you tonight, the Fan Zone. They'll be back, of course, next week, and thanks very much to Chris Powell and to Matt Letizia. Coming up on Sky Sports, of course, it is the Champions League. You know the music. And tomorrow night from 7 o'clock, Celtic against Barcelona is on Sky Sports 2. Valencia against Anderlecht, Sky Sports Extra. That's the same channel, by the way. If you want to, via the interactive service, have a look at the other 4 matches on offer. That's Sky Sports Extra. And then on Wednesday, we start slightly earlier at 6 o'clock. If you want to watch the whole of Lyon against Manchester United, stay tuned to Sky Sports 2. If you want to watch Liverpool against Monaco, of course the finalists from the last Champions League last season, and that's on Sky Sports Extra, and using your clever red button you can watch any one of the other 6 matches on offer. That is also on Sky Sports Extra. On Saturday it's a Prem Plus offering. You can watch the champions against the form team Bolton. That's Prem Plus on channel 433 Saturday from 12:30. On Sunday, the offering is Southampton again against Newcastle, and then Sunday from 4 o'clock, it's Chelsea against Tottenham. That's on Sky Sports 2.